A new smoke room video, isn't that something? I was supposed to be at school today, but I don't know what happened. Why am I doing the load thing? Oh, right, we have to go here because Cliff's route. Right, of course. So we just did Murdoch's route, all the way from Murdoch's route. We did all the way from the guy's route. Now we're on to Cliff, and I'll do William. I'll finish off Williams last of all. And then after that, I'll have to wait for the next update of the Smoke Room to continue the series. In between that time, we'll be doing other things. So I guess we'll see what happens between now and then. Fit Cliff in for a booking, fucker. He's like the cutest out of all of them, but like Murdoch is also whatever. That's not the point. Well, the Fox's wager is tempting. It's just that, a wager. I can't go risking anything when I've already lost so much. Weasel seems an easier mark, though I could do without his longing stares. You, Weasel, stands at attention for bristling. The name's Clifford Tibbits. Oh, yes, of course. How in the hell does his family go from this to fucking Duke? God. That's one hell of a downgrade. Right, Cliff. You like a knot. Leans over and slack-jawed. Murdoch raised an eyebrow at me, a smirk playing on his muzzle after he eyes Cliff up and down. That's what I thought. As Cliff's shoulders stirred on the weasel out of his trance. Do not try to wear him. Do try not to wear him out, Sam. This one looks excitable. I beg your pardon? Cliff's getting more flustered by the minute. Murdoch over just shrugged, smirk turned to a smug grin. Looks like I was barking up the wrong tree. What's that supposed to mean? Oh, it's nothing. Now if you'll excuse me, I got work to do. Enjoy. He saunters off with a wink. Cliff casts eyes to the floor, clutching the satchel tightly in front of him. Come on, follow me. Stoat enters before making himself home before I could even close and lock the door. Walks spryly around the room, floorboards creaking underfoot, only stopping when he passes the mirror to fix the tufts of fur on his head. His clothes still have some dirt and blood on them, but he smells better than most of my clients regardless. I'll take mint over sweat any day. Quite a lovely brew, what there, Samuel. It's, atmospheric. It's always being Jane talking down to me. Smile seems honest enough, but I learned not to trust a smile. It's not the worst place been, even I suppose. The Hip's one of the fancier places in town, after all. Especially in such delightful company. Laying on a bit thick there. Smiles at me and sits his satchel down on the bed, running a pink paw over the sheets. I follow him here. I'll follow him there, hoping stray smells don't linger. How you feeling? Most men aren't exactly rough action after taking a beating like you did. Furrowing his brows, the stoat sticks to his satchel, hands clasped together in his lap. I'm quite all right, thank you. Just a tad rattled, I suppose. Can you believe people are allowed to conduct themselves in such a manner? I sigh. Can't do much about it, I'm afraid. Just the way things are around here. Surely the sheriff could. Assaulting a stranger in broad daylight, criminals like that shouldn't be allowed to walk the street, much less enjoy a drink at a local establishment. If you're lucky, they could slap with a fine and be back home before sundown. Better than the alternative. And having them sit in jail for a few days and get mad as hell when they're let loose. Sit next to him. The bed creaks under the extra weight, but I know I can handle it. I look at it. Looks around the room. The glasses making his eyes look twice as big as they actually are. Things are already so vastly different from what I expected. Echo's full of surprises. Her voice cracking, and all that sense my mind wanders back to Jack for the brief moments. Hope he doesn't notice. Truly, as an academic, I'm not sure whether to be intrigued or frightened by the prospect. Intrigued. Feel the wrinkles of my forming grimace. I'm not particularly looking forward to the prospect of having to peel him off the street again. Just be careful. People here, they don't like people like you and me. People like us? What do you mean? Quiz. Oh. Just keep your head down. You can do that, right? Weasel rolled his eyes. Well, of course, Samuel. I didn't come all the way from Batavia to get snuffed out by some common thugs. Batavia? Have you heard of it? Not anything beyond what Cynthia's told me. I'll take your silence as a no. It's a small nation in Western Europa, not too far from the Isles. I hail from its capital. Europa, huh? What's it like? Flat. Western region in Europa near the Isles. Yeah, he's definitely Dutch. He's definitely from Lake the Netherlands. Flat. He laughs. Actually, I could show you if you'd like. There's that awful familiar tone again. You got pictures or something? In a sense. Reaches for his satchel again, taking out a stack of what looks like postcards. One on top is distressed and worn, its edges frayed. Shows a slanted street with colorful buildings lining a canal that's painted a brilliant blue. Yep. He's from the furry world's equivalent of Amsterdam, I'm guessing. Walking the sidewalk are many different species, half of which I've never seen before in my life. Hard to believe a place like this even exists. That's the capital of Batavia, as penned by Anthony van Houwelingk, 1864. One of my absolute favorites when it comes to his work, but to be honest, though, I'm rather biased. I always read the card. My handle is as delicately as I can, but even then it's just about falling apart in my paws. My father took me to see the actual painting once in City Hall. Does your family still live there? Hand him the card. My father and sister share our ancestral home. They still send me the occasional letter, but I haven't seen either of them since I left university. As for my mother, she passed away 10 years ago. Sorry to hear it. Not really, of course. I don't know any of these people, and I barely know Weasel himself. Don't be Samuel. It was a long time ago. What about you? Do you have a family, a home? I don't have a family. Grimacing again. Cliff's eyes widen with the smallest of gasps. Like it's some honest-to-God affront. Looks away at the floor, at the walls. Oh, that's... Well, it's not for the first time I met him. Is that all I had to say to shove off for a second or two? His pink paws are turned to his little satchel, fingers gliding over the buttons, opening and closing it repeatedly. Squeeze his shoulder to snap back to reality, but he ends up dropping the little bag and spilling most of its contents, mostly papers, on the floor. The little guy scrambles to pick them up. I am deeply sorry. I didn't mean to upset you, or hit a sore spot, or... Don't you worry about a thing. Seems to get the paper only and scare them around the room. Closes his eyes and such a long sigh, rubbing the bridge of his snout. I need some help. Oh my god, he's fucking cute. He looks at me, inside of his ears redder than ever. Nods shakily. I was right. He is cute when he's quiet. Slide out on my knees next to him and grab everything I can get my hands on. There are postcards and pictures. Most of papers that have lots of long-sounding words in them I don't quite understand. They're all written in neat cursive that reminds me of Cynthia. What's all this about? Cliff flicks the papers on my hands while he stuffs the postcards back into the satchel. Those are my notes. Those are the notes from my thesis. Hand me those if you please. Thesis? What's it? Oh no, the order's all scrambled. Guys looks a book's worth of documents, even in them out, stuffing them back into a satchel. Doesn't get up, instead clasps falls in his lap some more. All right, that should be all of them. Please forgive me, Samuel. I didn't need to waste our precious time together, behaving so, well, clumsily. Now, wrings his paws, shutting his eyes tightly. May I touch you? Ain't that why you're here? I suppose it is, yes. Alright, here goes. Reaches out, gently placing it on my thigh, rubbing in a circular motion, squeezing intermittently. His nose twitches. You smell amazing tonight. What kind of fragrance are you wearing? Jasmine. Strikes me as an experienced type, so I look him upon his, guided to my side. Opens his eyes again like a calm by surprise. Trembles against me, a shaky breath escaping his muzzle. It's more of that mint. He's kissing aloud. Nah, before I could even brace myself, he leans forward, placing his muzzle against mine. So fucking cute. Reciprocating even though my tongue easily dwarfs his. Doesn't let that stop him deepening the kiss. Smells are okay. Cool. The musk trying to show through the scent of perfume. It's strong and a bit different, but it's not really a bad scent. When he breaks the kiss, he's left panting and paused, struggling to find the buttons of my Okay, time to fucking pause it. Oh boy, I mean, I'll pause it once the fucking shirts come off, but whatever. Once he gets it off, his paws around my torso and my muscles, exploring every inch. My goodness, you are built like a house. Don't need to look down to be able to please. Oh my god. I kiss me. I feel impressionable because my leg. Okay, wow. Bad my enthusiasm. I wait for this all evening. About to reach for the lump in his pants, but once I wrist let himself fall on his back. I fall with him. He's pinned underneath me now, eyes half-lidded, breathing ragged. Okay, time to go. See ya on the other side. Oh my god. Okay, guys, so that's over. That was really nice. That was cute. That was really cute. Basically just 69, the sucked each other off. Whatever. Okay. And he went to sleep, and now he's waking up later. I don't trust that. Nope. My eyes shoot open. Moonlight leaking the gap between the currents. The only reminder there's even a world beyond this world room. Cliff sleeping soundly, his head in the crook of my neck. Strange scent fills my nostrils. Alive. Something else entirely. Something rotten. I tried to turn my head to see if I could find what's causing it. Tried to because I can't fucking move. It's like I've been nailed down to the bed. Can't even move my toes. The smell's getting stronger, enough to make my eyes water. My stomach lurches with a strange mixture of fear and nausea. I want to call for Cliff, but I can't make a sound no matter how hard I try. There's a heavy breathing sound coming from inside my room. Corner of my eye. On the other end of the room, I can make out the faint shape of something. Something big. Is it a man? Its features are hazy, but I can make out what looks like a coat of gray fur. A pair of red eyes is glaring at me, glowing faintly, hatefully. When I blink, it's still there. The scent is becoming unbearable. I want to vomit, want to do anything, but I watch as it begins to move towards my bed. Its steps are loud and heavy, its stride unnaturally large. It moves far too quick for something that big. I squeeze my eyes shut tight, waiting for it to strike. Samuel! Oop, okay, dick's still out, okay, fucking... okay, it's not that bad, it's not showing, okay, oh boy, cool. There's a pale water symbol next to the bed, and they reached for it without even thinking. No, I don't lie. Okay, so basically I just told Cliff about the dream, and then Cliff left, and, you know, what, yeah, not, what, put on, whatever, but you get it, he was, put the rag down on the nightstand right next to where the pail had been. Then I saw a piece of paper that slid underneath the bed. Pull it out. Luckily, it's still clean and dry. It's not one of Cliff's notes. There's several sketches next to the Text on this one, mostly of folks around town. Recognize Murdoch by the smug grin of the camera hanging around his neck. Underneath his picture is a pretty nice portrait of Cynthia. Masada is written next to her in large block letters. Weasel noticed me looking at it, waddling towards it with his pants still at his knees. I was looking for that one. Did you draw these? I did, yes. He pulls his pants up. They were already up. It must have slipped out of my satchel. I dreamed with Cynthia stairs. I was waiting for you. Where's the picture of Murdoch? This one's from memory, though. I drew it shortly after I woke up this morning. Just how long has been awake? Oh, your thesis? Oh, my thesis, in a way, yes. The people in history of this area are exactly why I came here. What people? What history? There's nothing here but dirt and sin. I also just fancy drawing what interests me. People, nature, and sometimes even the sky. Frown. Did he draw me? Reaching my shirt in my mouth, trying to think of how I should phrase the question. This thesis of yours. Stop myself. Thesis, what's it about? What even is a thesis? Boy, I'm glad you asked. Pushes his glasses further up his snout. Have you heard of the Masada tribe? Only a thing or two. What little Cynthia wanted to share. Well, I heard. It falls out mid-sentence, eyes keeping close watch my abs while I put on my shirt. Grew sore when I start buttoning up. Moved to do the same, taking special care to fix his bow tie. I hear through the grapevine there's a Masada tribe settlement not too far from Boyo. About 2 days' worth of travel away, in fact. I asked Cynthia about it the other day, but she wasn't very cooperative. As expected. What I intend to do after I find a guide, of course, is to go there and learn all there is to know. About what? Everything. Their cultures, their tradition, what kind of food they eat. He's quaking with excitement. Makes him think they'll teach him anything. My thesis is going to be about what makes them them. And how about how we can bridge the gap that lies between us and guide them towards a better future? It's me a toothy grin, grabbing his satchel from the floor and slinging it over his shoulder. I had a wonderful night, Sam, but I must be off. I intend to leave for the settlement tomorrow, so there's no time to lose. He's in. I lock eyes for a moment, and he presses his muzzle to my cheek. He's warm. Thank you for the lovely experience. I'll have to return for some more lessons soon. I've still got a lot to teach you. I'm sure you do. I hand him the sheet of paper, and he adds the collection in his bag. Gazes at me, then picks up the pail with the murky water and takes it out the door. Door shuts behind him. Sit there in bed alone and watch the sun climb the sky up through the slats in the windows. As far as clients go, I think I lucked out. Feels like hours have passed and I hear a soft knock on the door. Oh, is it? It's me. Are you decent? Pull the sheets back out to my waist. I am now. Door creaks as it opens. Cynthia stands the doorway for a few moments, one brow raised. Then her muscle splits into the broadest of grins I've seen on her. Your weasel friend paid us 4 times your usual rate. 4 times. I stare at her mouth agape. I thought he was going to pay twice the usual. We all did. What did you even do to him? I don't know. Nothing out of the ordinary. Do tell me to figure it out. We could use some extra spending money. You share a laugh. I'm still croaking. He mentioned something about talking to you the other day. He does talk a lot, doesn't he? Yet changing the subject. Expression sours. We did talk about the Masada. You mentioned a settlement. Ain't that where you're from? She exhales louder than nods. Decided to let it rest there. Anything I should watch out for today? You mean besides the madam just about ready to throw herself at you? I could use a bird for people throwing themselves at me. There's just a grocery run that he's doing. Your first appointment is the latest out of all of ours, so we volunteered you. Cherry grin returns. We don't mind. I don't really. I could use some fresh air. Oh, not really. Is it safe to go out? You should be fine. The sheriff took care of the riots last night, almost entirely on his own at that. There's talk of town meetings later, but you should be able to get to the store okay. Wish you were that thorough with me. Alright, give me a minute. Soldier's out of bed before they close. Door creaks shut and I'm alone again. Grocery list in hand, I walk down Main Street, passing several clients of mine, trying their hardest to pretend they haven't noticed me. Couldn't care less, really. Town square feels eerily quiet after last night. There's no street musicians or newspaper rockers, nothing. Can't even hear any birds. Just a bunch of folk with frowns on their faces acting like it's business as usual, and I'm one of them. If it weren't for the garbage left in the streets, you'd hardly think there'd been right at all. Past William's office and the barber shop, going over the items on the grocery list. I could go through some alleys at the same time, but the last thing I want right now is to get jumped. So I decided to stay on the main street to town hall. Fuck you. Near an apple tree in front of the steps of town hall, I see an incredibly tall ram. I know who this is. Seen him around town before. Usually it's a bigger entourage, though. His suit looks like it costs about 3 times what I earned in a single lifetime. His eyes are greater than grass itself, gazing down at Echo from behind a custom-fitted monocle with a silver frame. He's flanked by 2 wolves, one of whom I recognized from the saloon. His face was painted on picket signs last night. There's no doubt about it. This is James Hendricks, the third, if I'm not mistaken. Makes eye contact with me and closes the distance between us with a brisk walk. I can smell his cologne. Why, hello there, citizen. His voice is silky smooth. He speaks without hesitation, I still train in mine. Tips his head at me like he's rehearsed this. Swallowing my words carefully, dosing the wolf staring at me. Hello, sir. I beg your pardon, I didn't mean to startle you. Anything I can help you with? It just might be. He extends his paw. My cautiously reached out to shake it. He has a strong grip. Name's James Hendricks. I know that much. I see my reputation precedes me again. A pleasure. Can't say I feel the same. His smile doesn't reach his eyes, and he sounds like his head so far up his own ass something else might. Samuel. Seal my pollen on his cane once more. Ah, so like Samuel from the Bible, yes? I suppose. Lovely. Visually, those with a hand gesture. Sure is nice finally put a name to the face. How do you mean? Well, you work at the hip, don't you, lad? Says it so confidently, so matter-of-factly. My ears heat up, my fists clench so hard the grocery list ends up a crumpled mess. Lucky no one's passing by. I think you got the wrong person. Right you are, my boy. How foolish of me. Tell the tone of his voice and the glint in his eye, they both know I'm lying through my teeth. Mind again by how empty the streets feel right now. Desert wind picks up, makes a few of the wooden shutters rattle. James and I both have to cover our eyes defensively. Passes just as quickly as it picks up. Straightens out his jacket and tips his muzzle at me. If you'll excuse me, appointments to keep, business to take care of. Take care, Samuel. Perhaps you'll meet again. Looking forward to it. We're walking off and turn around a corner. Catch him looking at me as I do. You know, I really fucking wish that we'd get an Echo game that explored what happened with James and John, the James Hendricks the first, and James Hendricks first and John Begay, because honestly, that's what I thought this was gonna be. That's what I thought Smoke Room was gonna be about, and then my expectations were completely and utterly, ruined by what actually is going on in this. So yeah, that's one thing I want really badly, because it doesn't really yeah. I end up in front of a large building. Crates and boxes are stacked out front, but that's not the thing that stands out most to me. No, what stands out to me is the red fox standing in front of the door, holding on one of the numerous boxes, camera clutched in his paws. Feel my stomach lurching again. God, he's so fucking cute. Well, if it is insane. Walks toward me, camera swinging to and fro across his chest. What brings you here this lovely morning? Running errands? You work here? Sure do. What's thunderstruck behind him? Thought your job was taking pictures. You grins. And developing the pitches, and sometimes delivering too when it saves us money on post. Counts his chores and his fingers. But that's just when we have enough hands to manage the store and keep it clean. And sometimes another man behind the register. And then there's the keys. That's a lot. No wonder his bags under his eyes. What can I say? A man of many talents. Well, I just got back from the sheriff's office not too long ago. Yeah, and I suppose I could tell you, but not for free. It's confidential information, as I'm sure you're aware. I don't have any money to give you, that's what you're after. Oh, I'm not looking for money unless you thought about my proposition. Shake my head. Fox clicks his tongue. That's what I thought. No, I want details. Lennox slips in a crate next to me, glancing about to see if anyone's near before leaning and whispering. How was your time with Mr. Tibbits? I can't talk for my class like that. I'm not asking you to talk freely, Samuel. It's a trade between men. My information for yours. Why do you care so much? Doesn't matter. It does. Very well. To be quite frank, I left last night feeling envious. Funny thing is, between you, I wasn't even sure I was more envious of. So I didn't imagine him sneaking looks at Cliff last night. Oh, that's fucking cute. So naturally, I got quite curious. Kept his chin in the paw. Was it good? Mull it over. Usually careful with this confirmation, but I really want to find out what's going on. If this guy works for Will, might give me an idea of a clue there to find out. Good, yeah. Just gonna quad the mouth on him. Oh, good to know. Time to hold my end of the bargain. Don't tell the sheriff I told you this, but investigation's gone in full swing. Apparently got a lead and a witness, and they're closing in fast. Sheriff said none of the higher-ups are getting any arrest until the perpetrator's hanging from the gallows. My blood runs cold. He'll even talk about curfews. Enough to frighten any man, probably gonna be bad for business. Panic wells up within me. He keeps talking, but I lose track, mind racing to hundreds of conclusions, only a few seconds. Have to go. Need to go. My voice wavers. About time I head back. You sure you aren't forgetting something? Like your groceries? Just now I'm heading around my heel, leaving the store behind empty-handed. Sam? I brisk walking makes me sprint smooth out of sight. Feel the eyes of every person in town just drilling into me. By the time I pass the sheriff's office, I'm out of breath. But I can't stop running. After a while, the hip looms in the distance. Never thought I'd long for the smell of liquor and unwashed minors this much. Cynthia standing in the doorway. She waves me open, looking awfully confused. Then again, anyone might see me out of breath in the middle of the day. You took a while, Sam. Did you get everything we asked for? Shit. She was my empty post as soon as I do. Store owner was out. Somebody's always there. That doesn't make any sense. Well, not this time. Is this a joke, Sam? I'm not laughing. Puts in a glare like what I've not seen in a while, her face buried in her palms. I don't know what the hell you're doing with your clients here. Just what I need right now. This early? At least someone keeping promises around here. She looks at me once again and narrows her eyes. Where is he? Didn't see him myself. Madam took care of it. Brought him straight to your room. That's unusual. They don't even do that for my richer clients. Go on. Get up there. Hey, I'm sorry, alright? We'll talk about it later. She steps inside and enter the heb. Panic is still in my system, though the awful feeling of guilt remains. I don't have any time to waste feeling sorry for myself. It's time to get to work. Take a deep breath. I can do this. I open the door a tiny crack for any sign of my client. There's a neatly folded set of clothes sitting in the bed, but I don't know who they belong to when it's so dark in my room. Open it wider. My breath catches in my throat. Okay. That was exceptionally uncomfy. I fucking hated. Ugh. I took the liberty of giving Madame Dory a payment before you arrived. You'll certainly be seeing me again. But your discretion is mandatory. Nobody knows about my clients aside from this Harry Potters. Jim looks at me incredulously. And you will not tell Nikolai either. My claws extend involuntarily, nearly ripping holes in the sheets. Nobody should know about Nikolai. He would never give that sort of thing away. So how? So who? He's a good worker. Doesn't get on my nerves. And for his sake, he'll keep it that way. I have to keep the train moving after all. Until next time, Sam. Ram hobbles to the door, turning around to look at me before he slipped into the doorway. I promise it will be next time, because I could tell you loved it just as much as I did. Meanwhile, my damn been able to move for a while. It's too much for me to think what just happened. No fucking shit. Like, Christ. I rise up from the bed, and even if it's just to get away from the scent sticking to the sheets. My mind's not much better at the moment, but it's more than just the day's sweat clinging to me. I feel dirty, more so than usual. Wash myself, pluck at my fur from the dresser mirror, and even straighten out some of it with a brush, but it doesn't help. None of it does. Eventually, light from the golden hour leaks through the slats of my windows. Looks more like a miserable shade of orange and gold, if you ask me. Won't be long until more clients start coming in. Leave me alone. Mutter under my breath, brush still clenched in my paw. Cynthia. It's me. I can smell Ethel's perfume or even see her in the doorway. She once told me it's rose-scented. Cynthia likes to compare it to mothballs. The salamander slinks into my room like she owns it, paying much state of undress no mind at all. It's like a locker in here. It was smelling much better before you walked in. She snorts and turns to take a drag of her cigarette. No customers tonight? She exhales, puffing out a thick cloud of smoke that makes me crinkle my nose. None that matter. Not even Huxley? Didn't show. As pathetic as the fucker is, he usually never misses an appointment with Ethel. I'm getting old, Sam. Pretty soon they're gonna replace me with someone younger and prettier. That ain't gonna be hard to find. She laughs so hard she's not coughing. So what brings you to my neck of the woods? Ethel shakes her head, taking another drag of her eyes up and down my body. Work. There's some weasel talking about something out of Dora. Didn't hear what it was, but she told me to come get your damn right quick. Cliff again? I mean, who else would it be? Dumbass. Short fellow who talks a lot. That's the one. Guess my break's over before it's even begun. You look like shit, by the way. You been eating well? Some scraps here and there. Throw the ashtray on my dresser in her general direction. She puts out her cigarette, smoke leaving her nostrils one last time. Maybe get some besides cock and mouth for a change. Can't afford to have you going this all skinny on us. I look her in the mirror. She ain't too far from the truth. I'm not exactly skin and bone. My fur is starting to lose its luster. Yeah, just leave it. Let me get dressed. Yeah, 5 minutes. I only need 2. You and most of my clients. Once she's left, I reach for my clothes, still strewn on the floor from when Hendrix was here. Good thing his scent ain't on him. Wonder what the weasel's on about now. There aren't too many girls in the powder room when I get there, and the ones that are there are putting the last touches to their garments for the night. Madame Dora's standing right there in the middle of it all, and of course, Cliff's right next to her, his back turned toward me. Man, the payment. Up front, of course. Money is not an issue in the slightest. Good. Oh, there he is now. Joe tips her muzzle towards me, and Cliff turns to follow her example. He catches eye arms immediately. The nose twitches and he pats it over to me, rubbing his paws together. Samuel, so good to see you. Back for your lesson so soon, next lesson so soon, Professor? Again, I am a student. Right. I'm afraid I'm here for business rather than pleasure tonight. Your pleasure is my business. One of the girls laughed in the corner. Madame Dora seems less amused. Cliff doesn't notice, turning his collar, ears twitching wildly. Yes, well, He clears his throat. It's about my expedition. It took a while, but I found a guide, Samuel. So you came here to celebrate? Not quite. I actually wanted to ask if you would do me the honor of joining the expedition party. It's going to be a long journey, and I could do with a strong man in my tow. I'd get to leave Echo. I worked my jaw trying to keep my cool. What would you have me do? Show you a good time on the road? No, not like that. Her cooking sounds, his fingers brush over the satchel buttons again. I heard the wilderness around Echo was dangerous, and I think I would feel a lot safer traveling with someone I can trust. Someone like you, Sam. My teeth grind as I grit them. Seemed like everyone's a salesman trying to peddle my trust. Finally, I would just be plain stupid. When I think back on Murdoch said this afternoon, won't be long until him finds out what happened to Jack, and if he does, I'm sure to hang. I'd much rather take my chances on the road. Might get bitter, get heat stroke, but it's better than waiting to die here. All I need to do is slip out while the weasel's sleeping. Could be halfway other side of the country by the time folks find out what happened. I'm in. Madame Dora's eyes find mine. She's putting a face like she's sucking a lemon. When Cliff looks at her, the gentle smile she's known for immediately returns. Very well, if you'll excuse me, sir, I'll take Sam here aside to go over the details. Please enjoy a drink in the saloon or the company of one of the girls while you're away. Oh, that won't be necessary, ma'am. I don't think we'll want to drink here again after what happened yesterday. I'll wait here if that's all right with you. Dora nods, just for me to follow her. Cliff's eyes linger on me as he leaves the room. Once we're out of earshot, she turns back to me. Her brow is furrowed. Sam, are you entirely sure about taking this fool's proposition? Am I? This excitable upstart flances into town, asks to borrow you for heaven knows how long, and has enough corn to pay up front. Do you reckon something's off? Gives me a look. Of course there's something off. Money's money, Sam, but you can never trust a man like that in his word. I should know all too well. I bare my claws. I got these if anyone tries something. Her brows raise. A gun would do you better, Sam. Just so that anybody can learn to use a weapon. But persuasion can be just as potent. You can't blame me for down your survival instincts after earning that nasty wound in the back of your head. I can handle myself. I've gotten this far. She looks at me, then shakes her head. You can't have come this far because of my help. Do not squander it carelessly. I appreciate your concern. I'm a famous warrior. She only takes my arm and smiles. I'm gonna miss her when I'm gone. Walk back to Cliff. I almost have trouble keeping up with her brisk pace. He's hunched over on the dressers, scribbling away in a notepad. One of the girls, a possum, drapes herself over one of his shoulders, idly up on his back. Doesn't seem bothered but pays her no attention. When she catches sight of us, she returns to her own station, wearing a toothy smile as she passes me. Oh good, you're back. Cliff turns with his notepad in hand. Male looks like a horse wearing a cap. Looks like he's working on it for some time already. Have you decided to accept my proposal? Madame Dora nods. I want him back in one piece. That was not her voice, Christ. I assure you, no harm to him. We've an experienced guide and supplies to last you for weeks if need be. More worried about harm coming to him, to be honest. He looks like he'd snap out as easy as the pencil he's holding. Clifford takes a tiny red book from his pocket. It has some sort of insignia on it. golden lines that resembled the head of a weasel. He hastily scribbled something out before ripping it out and handed it to Madam. Look at it from the corner of my eye. That's a check, all right. I ain't never seen that many zeros on one, though. Where does this fella get his money from? Madame Doris seems to be thinking the same, lips pursed, but pocket says, regardless, she looks at me from the corner of her eye. Sam, you'll go get your things. I nod out my head the week before excusing myself. Cliff calls after me as I leave the room. I'll be waiting for you outside. Having almost nothing to my name means I don't have much to pack. Even with a change of clothes, my brush, and some basic necessities, there's still plenty of room left in my bag. Hopefully enough for the supplies I'll need to get across the country. Is it true, Sam? You're leaving? I didn't hear Cynthia enter my room. Must have left the door open. Hard for me to meet her gaze. Part of me still feels an awful mess about what happened this morning. Part of me was wondering if she's going to ask about Hendrix. Hope not. Just for a little while. That's a relief. I can't imagine this place without you. Oh, Cynthia. I don't really see how she reminds me of Jenna in any way other... that's fucking off topic as fuck. That's like... Oh, that's like 100 years in the future from this point in time. So, like... Yeah. Listen, Cynthia, I'm sorry about what happened with the groceries. That's why you're leaving? Trying to escape my wrath? She chuckles. Sam, it's okay. Really, we're just all on a bit on edge at the moment. This is all. Tell me about it. Ethel said Huxley didn't show up tonight. Wouldn't surprise me if you're staying over at Williams again. That man's always causing trouble. Mr. Tibbits told me that what he did to him. Nobody deserves to get treated like that. They roughed him up bad. I was there. It's one thing after another in this town. Ever thought about leaving? Going back to... No, I have not. This is my home, Sam. Light in the room dims and flickers. The lamp must be running out of oil. Is that where he's taking you then? To the settlement? I nod. She rubs her temples, exhaling through her nostrils. He really has his mind set on this, doesn't he? Seems like he has. So when will I see you again? Hard to say. Chances are I'll never see her again after night, and I think she knows that too. I've never told her I wanted to leave, but Cynthia has a way of finding things out on her own. She steps closer, spraying her arms. I reciprocate, pulling her in one of the tightest hugs we've shared since we met. She bears her muzzle on my chest. I swarking her, sniffling very quietly, though it's getting too dark to see her face clearly. For a few moments, there's no one in the world but us. I want to tell her to come with me. Go anywhere but here, but I can't. I'm gonna miss you. I'll be back before you know it. Hurts to say. Glad she can't see my face right now. You better. Stay like that for a long while. Christ. Being outside ain't so bad when the sun ain't beating down on you every waking moment. It's not as noisy as last night either. Hell, it's somewhere like the right never happened. As you walk the empty streets, Cliff's pacing, several steps ahead of me. Good thing he's wearing flashy clothes or I'd never be able to see him in this dark. We should be arriving momentarily. Where do you live? I'm renting the apartment up at the barber shop. It serves me well, considering the price. And with it being so close to the sheriff's office, there's nothing to be afraid of. Past that building a lot on errands, but I never knew there was an apartment above it. You're actually one of our first visitors. Am I now? Not really surprised. The Fox fellow from yesterday delivered some supplies I'd requested for the expedition, but he didn't stay long. It would seem he works at the general store. A very friendly chap, not at all what I expected based on my first impressions. Murdoch. I winced, hoping the Fox didn't tell him about my behavior earlier. Maybe I should change the subject. What about the guy? Our guide is a strapping stallion by the name of Jebediah Coles. A man of very few words, but he was the only one willing to join me. Coming up on the sheriff's office now. The lights inside are still on, shining down on two men talking in front. William and Reed. Instinctively, I grab Cliff by the wrist, pull in the middle of the alley next to William's office. What are you doing? He squeaks, and I pray the Lord the two men don't hear it. Put a finger to my muzzle. Surprisingly, it doesn't protest. Craning my head around the corner, I perch my ears and listen. When was the last time you saw him? He was playing cards last night. Same thing we do every week. He got a little drunk, you know how it goes, but he was well enough to walk home last time I saw him. Behind me, Cliff audibly gasps. Scares the shit out of me, and I've tried my hardest not to make a sound. That's him! That's one of the men who assaulted me! Keep it down. And he didn't show up to work today. Did he have any enemies? Wasn't smart enough to make any. If you ask me, it's probably that weasel that did it. It wouldn't have been the same weasel you boys beat the shit out of yesterday now, would it? Wolf's smug expression immediately drops. He tried to... You're lucky I got better things to take care of, Reed. If I catch wind of you causing trouble again, you're gonna be looking at more than just a fine. Scram. Tail tucked between his legs, Wolf scampers off into the night, slurring under his breath. William watches him go, arms folded, and leans against the building. Same goes for you two. Grit my teeth. I should have known. William could smell from a mile away. Gingerly step out of the alley, Cliff in tow. William looks at me from the corner of his eye, bemused. Part of me fears Murdoch told him what happened. Dread what he's about to say. Work in the streets now. With a sigh of relief. About to answer, William shakes his head. I don't care. Not a smart idea to be out this late with all that's happened. Why? We have a missing rat. Got taken in the night. Dead at night, right after the riots. Gone without a trace. Your friend over there might know him. Guess Huxley really is gone. Couldn't you've asked me? The sexton next to me. William regards him coolly. Normally I agree, but the situation we're in is anything but normal. If one dead miner's enough to spark a riot, another might get the whole town burned down. Folks ain't gonna be happy. Takes a while to decide what I'm gonna say next. Think it was the same fellow that did in the first one? Can't be sure. If it is, it won't be long before he slips up. Best thing for you and your friend to do now is stay inside and lock the door. We've no time to stay indoors. We'll leave Echo tomorrow. William grunts. Any particular reason? Academic purposes. Academic purposes, he says. What's there to study? Tumbleweeds? Actually, if there's a worse place to be than in this town, it's outside. I can take care of criminals and thugs in the alleys here, but no one can save you from highwaymen, rattlesnakes, and black widows. Shiver at the thought. Maybe go to town hall instead, kid. Plenty of books there. Might even learn a thing or two. His brows furrow, his bottom lip is quivering. I am not a child! I've only been in this town for a fortnight. I've already been beaten, spat on, insulted, and generally treated like refuse. If you actually did your job instead of fraternizing with the very man who nearly killed me yesterday, perhaps it would be better to stay here. As it stands right now, rattlesnakes be damned, I'm not staying another day in this wretched place. Oh, pardon me, sir. Let me just fetch the nice plates and the silver cutlery. Sorry, this town ain't like where the fuck you come from, weasel. Some venom in that last word. Wow. Clearly it isn't, or you would have learned some manners by now, brute. Is it just me, or are there two fucking glowing red eyes there? Or is that just the streetlight? I don't know. Last thing I need right now is a lecture from about manners from a prissy little like you. What did you just call me? Fucking hell. That was so shitty. That was such a fucking shitty delivery. You used to language that William, but Clifford coils, clutching his satchel tight. William's eyes find mine, peering right at him. They widen slightly before closing. Sam, get this weasel out of my face. No need, we're already leaving. Across the street, I give William one nest so that it doesn't acknowledge me. Oh, there were two red eyes there. Huh. Damn. Again with the subtle scares. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Cliff leads me up the rickety stairs that lead to the second floor of the barber shop. I feel the planks of wood. I feel like the planks of wood could give way and fall at any moment. I can't believe it actually say such a thing. Is there no decency left in this town? Yoshitopi digs through his pockets for a good few moments looking for the keys. Puts the key in the lock and tries to turn it. Doesn't budge at first, taking some willing back and forth. Blasted! Finally the lock clicks, door opens inwards. Causing Cliff to stumble forward, barely managed to catch him by the scruff of his neck, pulling him back onto his feet. Thank you, Samuel. Anyway, this is my temporary home. This is the doorway and I walk in. Oh boy, this place looks fucking nasty. Beyond lies a dark living room, almost as bare bones as my room at the hip. He walks briskly ahead of me, lighting a lamp that allows me to see things more clearly. For a man so fussy with appearances, there's barely a personal touch to the place. With all this talk of art earlier, I was expecting a paint on the wall at least. The sitting area is just a sofa and a low table with no dining table to speak of. On the table next to a stack of books and a vase of yellow flowers is a bag that looks like candy of some sort. Taffies, maybe. I recognize the smell. The one expensive thing in this room is a phonograph standing on a small closet in the corner next to a door, perhaps leading to the bedroom. Please make yourself at home. Would you like some tea? Sure. Wes and Sam together, grinning up at me. Splendid. Please have a seat. He scurries off to the kitchen, leaving me alone in the room. Take a seat on the sofa. Reeks of fox. I'm starting to think Murdoch did more than visit. Look at the books on the table to distract myself. They've all got titles longer than any book I've seen before. Grab the one on top. Het Lever der Wolven. It's thick, written in a language I don't know how to read. Probably Batavian, but it's pictures. Most of them show wolves in loincloths. One shows a cat serving a wolf garret. For fuck's sake, George, really? There are pictures in her odd anatomy which studies. Must be one of his school books. Slip one of the tabbies into my mouth. It's sweet, almost sickeningly so, yet I can't help but eat another right after. Maybe Ethel was right about my eating habits. Rattling of pots and pans rouses me. For long, I hear a strange, downright hellish whistling sound. Breathe, slowly chewing and swallowing the taffy in my mouth. Bits of it stick to my teeth. Is everything alright? Hear the sound of some water hitting the ground, then a long, high-pitched squeak. Silence follows. Get up and throw the book on the table, half running to the kitchen. Cliff, are you... Cliff Sam with a teacup in hand, shaking his free hand wildly. Oh, Samuel, so sorry to have frightened you. I just spilled some tea water on myself. Need any help? It happens all the time, no need to worry. That just makes you worry more. Watch your eyes again, filling 2 cups, stand on an ornate tray with steaming hot water. Adds a little bag to each cup. Do you want sugar in yours? I don't know. Is it good with this kind of tea? It all depends on personal taste. That's it. I usually drink mine with sugar. I'll take some too then. Carefully measuring pouring sugar into both cups. He takes the tray and hands it to me. Could you bring this to the living room for me? I'll clean up the mess here. Don't drink it all right away, alright? It needs to sit for a bit to bring out the flavour. I also wouldn't want you burning your tongue. Train hand return the sofa and the little table, sneaking another taffy as I do. Putting it down and sitting on the couch, I watch the sugar dissolve and the water turn a deeper color. It smells like apples. Cliff walks out of the kitchen soon enough, heading straight for the phonograph. Feels with it some, then puts a needle on the record. 4MP starts to play, and the weasel steps to the melody, hopping his way to the sofa to sit down next to me. Until the tremors of his shake through the couch fabric. Seems like he's still a little shaken from what happened outside. I find that listening to music is the best way to unwind after a day as turbulent and lonesome as this one has been. Reach of the nurse cup of tea and reclines, blowing on it so to cool it down. Gives it a long sniff. I think it's about right. Grandmine, too, is almost too hot to handle. Up close, it's even more pronounced. It's not much like my usual drinks at the saloon. Next to me, the weasel takes a careful sip. Catch him wince from the heat, but he still takes another sip. Follow his example. Might be due to the sickly sweet taffy I ate earlier, but the sour taste of apple hits the spot. It's a bit too hot, maybe, but I get used to this. We'll be leaving for Town Square shortly after sunrise to meet with the expedition party. Ah, so early. Leaving early means we can cover the largest distance before it gets too warm. We'll make an afternoon stop at a sightseeing point in Echo Canyon. Oh boy, Echo Canyon. Oh boy. That place in the 1900s, huh? Technically, no, yeah, 20. No, my fucking brain is going crazy. There are many local and stories surrounding that canyon. I'm excited to see what it has in store for us. Even I've heard rumors. Once we make it to the side, we'll make camp. After that, it sure takes another day, if the weather allows. He takes another longer sip, closing his eyes and breathing out a blissful sigh. And what do you need me to do? Brush a paw against his leg, hear a coil, his ears turning red. He's paying, might as well teach the students some more. I assure you my reasons for hiring you weren't sexual in nature. Says up at the paw and his look up is trembling. Part of it's something to do with practicality. Some tasks require strength I do not possess myself. Though there is... He clears his throat, drinking some more tea, and barely avoids spilling it. Raise a brow at him. There is, I wouldn't call it a connection, so to speak, not yet, but I do see you as a kindred spirit. You're one of the few people in this town who has treated me with a modicum of respect. I appreciate that. Not even the sheriff could help in the end. Finishes his cup, and I do the same with mine. All this sugar can't be good for me. We exchange glances as the music swells. He breathes out and gets up from the sofa, take my paw. It was still resting on his leg. Stand up, please. I'd like to show you something. Get back on my feet. The weasel slides an arm around my waist, putting the paw on my back. It's warm. Dancing? You ever danced before? Only for clients who request it, but he doesn't need to know that. Few times. Wonderful. Sneaks up against me. Step back and he closes the gap again. Let's try to move as one. When I pull, you push. He steps back as I step forward, managing to somewhat match rhythm and music. His chest presses against my body, his warm paws squeeze mine tightly. Now, watch my footwork. We move back and forth across the room. It becomes a game of sorts as I try to imitate what Clifford does, and my pace adjusts to his. I help him twirl me around, narrowly avoiding swatting with my tail yet again. You're a natural, Sam. Ain't it your job to teach people new things? Again, no. I smirk at him, presses into me, paws sticking. We're both starting to break a sweat. Weasel's mouth opens slightly, slender tongue poking out as he pants softly. Follow suit, struggling to keep up with steps get more complicated. Weasel not so much. His speed doesn't surprise me considering what he is. I've always heard it's in a weasel's blood to be cowardly. It's in his nature to be built to run. Can't help but wish that I was built to slip away too. The song winds down to a close and the record stops. We collapse on the sofa together. I enjoyed that. Where'd you learn to step like that? My parents insisted on lessons when I was young. I stopped going after my mother passed away, but dancing is something you never really forget how to do. But if you don't mind, I think I shall go get some rest. It's been a long day, and tomorrow will be longer still. Where do I sleep? You can take the bed. I'll sleep here. I'd offer to sleep together, but the bed is far too small for two people. I don't mind sleeping here, actually. It's your bed. Oh, no, I insist. Points the door next to the phonograph. But you're behind that door. The washroom is adjacent to it, and should you want to clean up? Thanks. Keep that in mind. As I get up, the weasel grabs my wrist tightly, muzzle curling upward in a shy smile. Good night, Samuel. Good night, Professor. Doesn't correct me this time. That's fucking cute. That is really cute. So anyway, I think I'm gonna end it here. I mean, I know this is like way shorter than my usual video lengths, considering they either on average are about an hour and 30, but like I'm not feeling it right now, so I'm gonna stop. Yep, I'm gonna stop, and I'll see you guys in the next video, whenever that happens. Who even knows? It's 12:08 now, isn't that something?